as requested, we're gonna tell you guys the story of our proposal, how he asked me to marry him. We had been dating since we were 19, and we knew we were gonna get married, but we didn't really know when. In 2015, we looked at rings. He didn't live in Tennessee, he was in San Diego at that point, and then he moved to Arizona, and then he moved here. We looked for rings again, like a year later maybe. We looked at rings, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I figured out that I wanted like this style basically. I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want, blah, 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 you know? It's been like 7 years or whatever, 6 years, 7 years of dating. I wanna get married. Obviously, I can't just be like, will you marry? Well, I can, but I'm not going to. I did not wanna ask him to marry me, or will you ask me to marry you?
Well, basically before we had decided that we wouldn't get engaged until we were living in the same place. So I finally moved out here. Took a little while to settle in. I was just giving it some time, you know, strategic planning takes time and patience, you know? She's got no patience.
My rage started to boil a little bit because I was like,
I want to see how far I could push her.
no, you better not have. Literally, people I didn't even know were like, so, they would ask my sisters, when's Christina getting engaged? Like, I don't even know you. So I was like, oh my gosh, everyone thinks I'm supposed to be getting engaged soon. Am I supposed to be? Well, yeah, I did too, but yeah.
It's probably what made it take longer, since I always go against the grain. So when people keep asking, I'm like, oh, you just bought her another month. Now what?
So I just kept saying, I don't know. I don't know.
But then there was also the struggle of finding the ring she wanted. So she has a moissanite stone with a diamond halo band. And most vendors that I talked to would not do the combination because they either didn't sell moissanite, didn't have the right band, or it was just a big pain. Until I finally found a guy who would build the ring. So basically sent him the designs and we worked it out and finally got the ring in my hands by November. At the same time, obviously I was gonna talk to her parents. So her dad and I had been on a rotating schedule going out to California.
So you were like, okay, I'm gonna talk to her parents.
Yeah,
here's the date.
In my head I had a schedule, but it didn't work because then her dad would be like, oh, I'm swinging by LA, it's gonna take an extra 4 days. So then he would be out there and then I'd fly to California, but then he was flying back to Tennessee. So we didn't have a whole lot of overlap for like 2 or 3, almost over a month actually. The night he landed in Tennessee, which was just very shortly before I actually proposed, their whole family was going to a party and I grabbed him and her mom, pulled them aside before they went to the party and talked to them. And then from there... And
what was it like?
I was nervous. I was pretty nervous.
You were nervous after 8 years?
Yeah, I mean, leading up to it, I wasn't nervous at all. And then once you actually like go to have that conversation, it's pretty nerve-wracking.
Did you cry?
I think I started to. They both gave me a hug, and then I think your dad's words, I think, were, "What took you so long?" was your dad's words. So I had set up a dinner at a restaurant. Why is the name slipping my mind? Giovanni's. So I'd set up the date there, set the time and everything, and later found out that they had planned the Christmas party that night. So at first I was like, oh, now what am I gonna do? But then it actually worked out because my dinner reservation was earlier because I know that she likes earlier dinners most of the time. The whole restaurant was in on it. They knew what was going on. I actually enlisted her brother Alex, who picked up the flowers for me and picked up a letter that I had wrote for her.
When Nick planned the dinner, he was like, 6 weeks before, he's like, so keep the weekend of December 16th open, whatever, because I wanna do dinner then because he's like, because I'll be traveling a lot. I know you like the holidays, so I want to do something to like celebrate. And I was like...
She's a romantic sap. So that was my only weekend, or one of like 2 weekends that
She's a romantic sap.
Yeah. One of 2 weekends that I was actually here in Tennessee and I wasn't gonna be here for Christmas. So I set that up ahead of time and played it off like, hey, I just want to take you out to dinner. It'll be the last weekend I'm there before Christmas and my birthday and everything, so.
Stroking my non-existent beard.
Classic.
When he told me that, I was like, really? Planning something 6 weeks ahead. Something Nick never does. So.
I do all the time, I just don't tell him.
Oh, whatever. So then I told like 100 friends. I was like, oh my gosh, I think Nick might propose to me on the 16th. Leading up to it, I was like the Grinch. I was like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, definitely. definitely not. I don't know what's gonna happen. What if he's not going to? What if he is going to? What if it's just a holiday celebration? I was like freaking out.
I was not nervous at all until we literally got to the restaurant.
Okay, so the whole day, which is true, he was totally chill. I was totally freaking out. And I was like, he's being so calm. This can't possibly be the day he's proposing because he's acting so calm. I was freaking out. He was being totally normal and I was like...
As I was looking at the GPS taking us to the restaurant, I was like, in literally 20 minutes, I'm going to be engaged. Like doing a countdown inside my head.
In 18 minutes, I'll be engaged. That's what he told me after. I was like... And he was asking like totally chill questions. I was like, ugh. But then there was one tip. So we were holding hands. He was totally normal, but his hand was so sweaty, which never happens. You never have sweaty hands. And I was like, he has such a sweaty hands. His body's betraying him. And then he was wearing a Santa hat the whole time in the car. So I was like, oh my gosh, he wouldn't be, this literally, my brain is so weird. He wouldn't be wearing a Santa hat if he was gonna propose. I had like the list in my head. I was like, proposing. Yes, no. And I was like, Santa hat, no. Calm, no. Sweating, yes. Planning ahead, yes.
So I also didn't know if you're supposed to propose like with the ring in the box or can you just pull it out of your pocket? Does it make a difference? What's the...
Supposed to? You're not supposed to do anything, who cares?
So I wanted to do it with the whole box so it could be cool, open it up, you know, be all fancy. But at the same time, a box is kind of hard to hide.
Was it in the door?
Yeah, right.
Was it in the door?
You didn't know
I'm
that?
dead serious. I was thinking that. But I didn't...
It's on the side of the seat.
How?
Because I'm super sneaky.
How was it in the side of the seat? By the door, right?
Underneath.
By the door.
No.
Yes, you glanced over there. But I was like, no, I'm imagining it. I'm imagining. Like,
the valet driver helped me play it off. That's why I had the Santa hat on. It gave me an extra distraction. Because I started walking out with
wait,
that.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You planned that?
No, it just worked out very well. They all knew what was going on, but I needed an extra second because I couldn't get the box out of the door. That's why we were like joking about the Santa hat for a second. And then I was like, oh yeah, better take this and leave it.
We get up to the restaurant and I don't know where we are. So I'm like, and then they're like, oh, your table is upstairs or whatever. And I was like, we go upstairs and there's no one upstairs. It's like completely private, right? Mm-hmm. So I was like, So we sit down.
They brought out water first and then came back like, I don't know, a minute or so later and came out to ask and see if we wanted a drink menu. And so the drink menu is when he came out and he would look at me and I'd basically give him a yay or nay, and basically yes would mean like, yep, let's give me like 2 minutes and go. No would be like 10 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, I don't know. So basically, yeah, I was just like, yeah, go for it. And so then they brought out the flowers and the letter I had written her.
So the lady comes out and she's holding a like beautiful bouquet of red roses and it was so pretty. And then a letter. So she walks up to me and she gives it to me and I'm like, what?
So when they brought everything over and handed it to her, I looked at Christina, I was like, so do you know what today is? Still playing on the vibe of, it's just a special, fun holiday dinner. It was the anniversary of the date of the first time we had ever talked. So the first time we ever talked was December 16th, 2009. First time we met was December 24th, 2009. So this was the, anniversary of the first time we talked. So I was like, hey, that's why this is a special day, this and that. Still.
And when he said that, do you know days, blah, blah, that whole thing, I was like, you said something about like, do you know why I like picked this restaurant or something like that? Or you said something about the restaurant. Mm-hmm. Something about the restaurant name, which was Giovanni's, which was the name of the first restaurant we went to on a romantic dinner together at age 19 in Malibu. So I open up the letter and I'm like, reading the letter, and it's like this nice letter, like, oh, this, that, and the other thing, nice stuff. It said like, I know you love it when I ask you questions, so I have another one for you or something like that. I didn't really know what to do. I was like, I don't want to say, what's the question? I was like, What were you thinking when I was reading the letter?
I was trying to get the ring out of my pocket.
I didn't know what to do. And then you looked at me and we were just like, for a sec, because I think you were like, did she read it or not? And we were like,
It was all of 2.5 seconds.
It was like fun. It was excitement.
Then I got down on one knee, proposed.
Then
the end. Just kidding.
He pulls out the ring, and then you immediately started crying. He immediately
started tearing up.
Crying. I'm like, immediately my hands covered my mouth. I couldn't even help it, just like, and I immediately started crying too. So we both just crying.
She was crying like that. I was like smiling.
Okay,
like,
whatever. No one cares how you're crying. He was really crying. Even though I had an idea, I was shocked because you just don't expect, because someone is on their knee asking you to spend the rest of your life with them, which is like one of the biggest commitments you'll ever make in your life. So I was like, oh my gosh. So you couldn't say anything because you're crying so much. You're just like, will you marry me? And I was like, so I was just like, I couldn't say yes for a long time. I was like, and then finally I was like, yes. I finally got the word out. And then we just like hugged each other and we were just both like, we were both crying for a long time, hugging each other. I didn't even look at the ring yet. Well, I saw it, but I didn't really like look at it yet. I was just like, yeah. And then finally he like showed me the ring and I was like, and then he took it out and put on my finger and I was like, it's so pretty. And then I see like, flash, flash. I was ignoring, but I was thinking for a sec, like, who is that? I was like, is that Michael, my brother? And I was like, no, it has more of an introvert vibe. I'm dead serious, that's what I thought. And then it was Alex, the introvert. So then after that, we ate dinner, which I was so nervous and excited that I could barely eat at that point. I was like, we went home after to my family's house and they had the Christmas party. So as soon as I get there, everyone's like screaming. It was just like an engagement party after that, running around to everyone being like, here's the ring, here's the ring, here's the ring. Everyone was asking me. And he was like, because it was a long day, especially for me, because I was being tortured by myself. I think because we had been waiting so long for that moment, I had no idea it was gonna be that emotional. And I was always wondering like, would we be people who would like cry a lot on our wedding day? The answer after that I learned, yes. Oh yes, you know. So this is the box. It's so pretty.
Imagine trying to fit that in your pocket and not have someone notice.
Yeah, and I was looking. So that is our whole story of the proposal TM. And we're gonna do some Q&As for you guys. So keep an eye out for that coming up. And we're gonna do other videos together. He loves making videos.
It's my favorite. Deuces. That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for watching. Leave any questions you have in the comments below so we can get more ideas for videos or questions to answer. And make sure you subscribe and like the video. Okay, let's do it. How do we end this?
We take the ring off, give it back, and
not like my hair today. Okay, so what?
What say you, Facebook?
I don't want to be bald. Wait, is the Pink Panther? Is he like a spy person? What's that song?
Melody, dude.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, chill. Will you marry me?